This rice paper has been hanging out in my cupboard for far too long, so today we're going to create 3 delicious rice paper rolls with 3 different dipping sauces as well. If you Google rice paper rolls or summer rolls, you'll get a bunch of recipes come up, most with a peanut butter sauce or a fish sauce based one. But today I want to do something a little different, so I've got for you 3 different variations that are all absolutely delicious. Let's kick things off with this hoisin tofu and pickled cucumber rice paper roll. We'll start off by preparing the tofu. This is extra firm tofu. It comes in a vac pack. We'll start by cutting this into slabs, roughly 1 centimeter thick. And then the slabs of tofu I'll simply cut into battons, once again about 1 centimeter thick. Don't worry if they're not perfect, if some are smaller or some are bigger, that's all good. Now we're going to dry the tofu so it gets lovely and crispy. We have a designated tofu drying tea towel, but you're welcome to just use some kitchen roll. So just lay your tofu out over the tea towel, spread them out evenly. This is the sort of size of baton that we're looking for. And then just fold over the tea towel and get them lovely and dry. To cook the tofu, we're going to pop a pan on a medium heat. And then once your pan is hot, we'll go in with a drizzle of olive oil or an oil of your choice. And then just lay in your tofu strips. This pan might be a little bit small for the number of batons I have, but I think we'll make it work. Ideally you want them sort of spread out, but as long as the heat is high enough, they should still fry and get nice and golden. Once your tofu is lightly golden on one side, you can turn it and do the next. While the tofu's cooking, we're going to start with our glaze, which of course has some hoisin sauce. This is absolutely beautiful. It's got fragrant 5-spice in it. I'll add just a touch of light soy sauce to make it slightly thinner, as it is very thick hoisin sauce. And also a little sesame oil adds a really nice nuttiness. And just give that a quick whisk. While we're here, we may as well make the dipping sauce. So we'll start once again with some hoisin sauce. We're then going to zest in some beautiful fiery ginger. And then keep your zester out because we're going to add some fresh and vibrant lime. Oh, when you start zesting it, the smell is just incredible. And of course, we're going to add some lime juice as well. Hoisin sauce is quite rich and sweet, so lime juice will help counter that and balance out the flavor. Optionally, you can add a touch of sriracha, or you could add some chili jam, that's up to you. And then just simply whisk that into its lovely and combined. Just gonna add a touch of water to thin it out slightly. And that is your dipping sauce, good to go, beautifully rich and fragrant. It's going to be delicious. George, have you even tasted that sauce yet? Good point, I will do that right now. Great, that's better. Oh, that is absolutely delicious. 5-spice, it's lovely and fragrant, really umami. I think it does need a touch more lime juice though. If you're new here, you might not know that I have a Patreon page where you can get early access to videos, recipe PDFs, and bonus content. Just scan this QR code or there'll be a link in the description box. And then once the tofu is lightly golden on most sides, we can add in the hoisin sauce. Just turn down the heat a bit lower first so that we don't burn it. And then you can just pour that in. And then just toss the tofu to get coated in that lovely sticky hoisin sauce. So there you go, you've got beautiful sticky glazed tofu ready for the rice paper rolls. Poppy's not very happy because I'm not paying her any attention, just doing lots of cooking. Sorry, Poppy. Hello, hello. Oh yes, nice little chin rub. Oh, is that lovely? Yeah. Do you want to go outside? Do you want to go outside? There you go. Oh, it's bright. I'm also going to prepare some rice noodles. These are so simple. Simply pour some boiling water over them for 3 minutes and then they'll come to life. You might have to break them up a little bit with a fork at some point, But yeah, really quick and easy. I'm going to do a quick pickled cucumber. So into a bowl, I'm adding some rice vinegar. Okay, we don't seem to have that much. That's okay, we'll top it up with some apple cider vinegar. And then to that, we'll add a nice pinch of kosher salt and some sugar. Give that a quick mix and then we'll prepare the cucumber. Okay, for the cucumber, I'm going to cut it lengthways. And then using a spoon, I'm just going to scrape out the seeds, as we don't want them making our rice paper rolls really watery. And then you can have the cucumber seeds as a nice refreshing snack, perfect in summer. Delicious. And then we'll cut the cucumber into roughly the same length as the tofu strips. And then these strips will cut into thin battons. For the thicker pieces of cucumber, I might cut them in half, just to make the battons really nice and delicate and thin. And then just simply add in your cucumber to the liquor, give it a little toss, make them all mostly submerged, and we'll just let them sit for 10-15 minutes ideally. I'll probably give them a turn every 5 minutes as well, and that's a really quick way of pickling your cucumber. I completely forgot I was even cooking these rice noodles, so they've absorbed all the water. Fortunately, it is quite hard to overcook them, so I'll drain them and rinse them in cold water now. I'm also going to prepare some nice thin carrot battons. Battons is my new favorite word. I'm also going to cut some spring onion, or I think they're also called salad onions, green onions. So just thinly slice these into little rounds on a slight angle. These will add a nice crunch and oniony flavor. You don't have to use all these vegetables, you can just pick a couple of them, or even just do the pickled cucumber. Test, test, test. Nothing like a good bit of mise en place. We've got the sticky hoisin tofu, we've got the pickled cucumber, the carrot, lovely rice noodles, toasted sesame seeds, and then we've got spring onions, coriander and mint. And then of course that beautiful dipping sauce. I feel like everyone has a different technique for doing rice paper rolls, but I'll show you mine. So I'm going to add some cool water onto a plate. You can use a bowl or even a frying pan will work quite well, as long as it's big enough for your rice paper. And definitely use cold water, you don't want warm or hot, as that will create a sticky mess. Okay, so all you're going to do is dip your rice paper into the cold water, and then literally for 2 seconds, and then we're going to take it out. Let any excess water drip off, and then straight onto your chopping board. Now we'll put our fillings in. You want to be quick here, as the rice paper will start softening. So I'm going to go for 4 battons of tofu, then just a few of those rice noodles. Keep it nice and tight together and in the middle. Some pickled cucumber, fresh carrot, a few spring onions, not too many as they're quite strong. And you don't want to overfill these or it will be hard to roll up. And then I just do 2 or 3 leaves of mint, as it is quite a strong flavor. And some coriander, if you like coriander, of course. And then just sprinkle over your sesame seeds. And now it's time to roll. It should be soft enough to roll. So we'll go over, pull it in, and then bring in your sides. And just carry on rolling while tucking it in. And there you go. And there you go, that is your first rice paper roll. And then I like to keep these on a tray with a touch of oil, just to ensure that they don't stick either to the surface or to each other. So I'll just spread the oil around and we'll keep them in here. And then we'll repeat the process with the rest of the ingredients. The most important thing is not leaving it in the water for too long, literally just the amount of time it takes to get it submerged, and then take it out. And make sure you get all that water off. You can even give it a wipe with a clean tea towel to ensure it's not too wet. Another method is to use a damp tea towel, and then you can just place the rice paper in between it, and that's going to make it soft enough. And then another important step is making sure you get it really nice and tight. Okay, let's give that a good dip in there. That is spot on. You've got lovely chewy tofu with that sticky hoisin glaze, which is just umami and fragrant with 5-spice. Then you get the crunch from the veggies, tangy sweetness from the pickled cucumber, and even more flavor coming from the herbs and those toasted sesame seeds. So delicious. Give this a go, guys, and let me know what you think. Okay, on to our next rice paper roll. We are making a TLT, my take on the BLT. Instead of bacon, we're going to make some smoky, sweet glazed tempeh, and it's going with, of course, with some juicy tomato, some lettuce, and we're going to make an amazing avocado, parsley, and garlic nice dipping sauce. So let's get into this. Okay, so we're going to start by cutting this tempeh into nice thin strips. This tempeh is a little bit awkward as it's a sort of cylinder shape, but we're going to make it work. And we'll cut these just a few millimeters thick. And then once we've sliced this tempeh, we're going to make the marinade. You could do this with extra firm tofu as well if you wanted to. I know some people aren't a huge fan of tempeh. Then into a bowl or container, we're going to start with some soy sauce for that lovely umami rich flavor. Some maple syrup so this smoky tempeh gets nice and sticky, and add a little sweetness, of course. And then a little olive oil. I also quite like to add some sesame oil, adds a really nutty finish to the smoky tempeh. And then optionally, for a really smoky flavor, you can add some liquid smoke. Probably not the healthiest stuff, but half a teaspoon I think should be okay. But we are also adding smoked paprika, so you definitely don't need to use the liquid smoke. And we'll also go in with some granulated garlic. I much prefer it over the powder. I find it doesn't burn as easily. And then just a quick grating of black pepper and we're good to go. Give that a quick whisk to get everything nice and combined. And then just lay your tempeh in and get it all nice and coated. Try not to drop it on the floor. I like to use a Tupperware because you can then put the lid on. You can give it a good turning through the marinade, getting it all lovely and coated. And let this marinade for at least 15-20 minutes. Overnight is even better if you're an organized person like that. To go with these TLT rice paper rolls, we're going to make a really lovely, vibrant avocado dipping sauce, which is of course starting with one nice ripe avocado into a blender, then some lemon juice for a really nice zing, 1 clove of fresh garlic, then I'm going to go in with a small handful of fresh parsley. You could use other herbs, I think chives would be quite nice. You could also add some mayonnaise if you want it extra creamy, or some yogurt. A nice grating of black pepper, small drizzle of olive oil, just for that sort of fruity, peppery flavor. And we'll just start with a small splash of water to help it blend. I may add more later, we'll see how it goes. And there you've got a beautifully creamy avocado, garlic, and parsley dipping sauce. The tomato I'm simply going to cut into slices, a few millimeters thick. I'll stop at the end and I'll just eat this piece. For the lettuce, you can either shred it or you can leave the leaves whole. I think I'm just going to peel off the leaves and have them mostly whole. I've got 2 baby gem here, so I'm going to use the larger leaves for a salad another day and a smaller one today in these rice paper rolls. Just give them a light spin. Don't want to damage them too much. Okay, I've just got this pan heating over a medium heat, and I'm going to go in with a touch of olive oil. And then we'll go in with our tempeh. It's got a lovely sort of smoky red color. Looks amazing. And we'll cook this for around 5 to 8 minutes, I'd say, until it's lovely and caramelized and slightly crisp. Once your tempeh has a nice bit of color on it, you can brush over some more glaze. We don't want to waste that. You can definitely do this in the oven or air fryer if you want to use less oil as well. Okay, that's looking perfect. I'm going to turn off the heat now. Slightly crunchy, perfectly glazed, and ready for our TLT. So I cooked this tempeh in 2 batches, and I've just popped it back in the tub with all that marinade so it can soak it up. Okay, it's time to get rolling. And I have found that giving the rice paper a quick wipe with a clean tea towel just helps prevent it from getting too sticky. So we'll start with the lettuce, a few slices of that tomato, and then that beautiful smoky tempeh. Looks amazing. And then just simply roll it up, keeping it nice and tight. I might have overfilled this one. Fold in the sides, and then continue rolling until it's perfectly tight, and there you go. And there is your TLT rice paper roll. Oh, that is good. The tempeh is lovely and smoky and umami, and it's got a really nice chew which works beautifully in these rice paper rolls. Then you get the juiciness of the tomatoes, the crunch from the lettuce, and then that garlicky avocado dip just brings it all together. Now these are by no means traditional Vietnamese summer rolls, but sometimes you need to look outside the box, or in this case, the summer roll. George, that was a terrible joke. Sorry. Because in my experience, some of the best dishes I have cooked have come from when I've been winging it with random bits and bobs from the fridge. There's definitely a time and a place to stick to the recipe, but I want to encourage you to get experimenting and see what you come up with. Onto our final rice paper roll. We're making the classic Chana Chaat salad, but we're going to make it in smashed form, and we're going to deconstruct it slightly. So I'm going to have the cucumber and the tomatoes separate in little strips, and then we'll have the smashed chickpeas with all the spices and seasonings. It's going to be really delicious. And there's definitely going to be a little mango chutney in there for some sweetness, and we'll serve it with a fresh and vibrant mint and coriander yogurt. Start by adding your chickpeas to a bowl, and we'll just give them a quick crushing with a fork. I've just added in some finely chopped red onion and fresh coriander, but it of course wasn't recording. So now we're going to go in with some lovely So now we're going to go in with some amazing tangy tamarind paste. Just a teaspoon, it is quite strong. Then probably one of the most important ingredients, the chaat masala. I'm going to add a little extra cumin as well. And then just give it a good old mix up. Just going to add a little drizzle of olive oil just to give it a slightly nicer sort of mouthfeel, make it a bit more sort of luxurious, I guess you could say. A bit more creamy. I also added a touch more of the chaat masala after tasting it. Okay, yeah, that's looking perfect. I've got some cucumber here from the Hoisin tofu rolls, and I'm just going to cut it into thin strips again. I'm not going to pickle it this time. The Chana Chaat is really sort of tangy and fresh, so I don't think we need that extra sort of zing. The Chana Chaat has got it sorted. This will just add a nice refreshing crunch. And then with the tomato, I'm going to cut it into quarters. And then I'll just remove the seeds like so. Really easy, just slide your knife under the skin to remove them. And then just like the cucumber, we're going to cut the tomato into little battons, thin strips. Okay, here we go. It is rolling time once again. I'm going to start with a nice spoon of mango chutney. Spread that along. Then that beautiful Chana Chaat on top of the mango chutney. A few strips of refreshing cucumber and some fresh tomato. And then just go over the top, pull it in to get it nice and tight. And then nip up the sides, and then just keep rolling, keeping it nice and tight, like so. There you go. That is going to be absolutely delicious. Could have been slightly tighter, but I think it's absolutely fine. It could be nice with something crunchy in there, like some crunchy onions or some Bombay mix, for example. We're going to make a very quick mint and coriander yogurt for this one. So into a blender, we're going to add our mint and coriander, of course. Who would have guessed it? 1 clove of garlic, a couple of ice cubes. This will help prevent the heat of the blender from discoloring the herbs. Keep it nice and green. Then go in with your plant-based yogurt of choice. Then either some lemon or some lime juice for a bit of freshness and zing. Small pinch of salt and some black pepper. Now we've got to see if the lid is actually going to go on. Fingers crossed. I think it's just about going to. Perfect. And then just blend that until perfectly smooth. Ideally you want this slightly thicker, but my vegan yogurt wasn't a particularly thick one, sadly, but it's going to still be really delicious. Here we go. Oh, that's so good. Oh my God, I've lost it into the dip. The chickpeas are fragrant with spice and has a really nice sort of tangy touch to it. That's from the Chaat masala, which has dried mango in, kala namak, and also pomegranate, which adds that sort of fresh and tangy flavor. And then cool it all off in the mint and coriander yogurt, and you've got a delicious light lunch or dinner. Thank you so much for watching. If you've got time to watch another video, definitely check out this one.